Hey, good morning. It is the fourth day of a dry fast. That means no food, no water, and of course, it's not that big of a deal. Other people have done much more in water fasting and dry fasting than I have. This is a sport, and there are levels. Of course, you wouldn't say it's a sport if you're desperately trying to cure something. If your first motive, allegedly, isn't spiritual investigation or just learning about the body in different deeper states when it's more independent of so-called inherent or fundamental desires, and that it has a greater desire for health, of course. To be sure, I think I've had some issues with mucus buildup in the head, a minor eczema in the toe, and other symptoms that health is, well, it's far from 100%, so it can always be better. Now, what about this so-called spiritual investigation? You're not really going to get that, I don't think, on such a short fast. I just wanted to clear the psychological hurdle. Ooh, dry fasting. That's dangerous, you know. If you go 3 days without food and water, you're going to die. Well, I'm well past hour 72, and obviously my level of health going into the fast, not to mention intentional or conscious preparation has been way more than sufficient for this mere 3 day fast. And to be honest, not the day that I started the fast. It was really Saturday night. It's now Wednesday morning, so we're approaching hour 84 pretty soon. So that'll be 3.5, and I think I'll break it. I could go on, I feel, to 5 or even 7. My only consideration really is just the length of the recovery, just dealing with any issues bringing, full digestion online. So I might just be satisfied with this, call it a win, because although with water fasting I've gone 21 days, with dry fasting, I'd only done 24 because it was still a kind of taboo. It was still kind of stigmatized in the fasting circles that I moved within. Although I never fully agreed with the complete fruitarian or raw vegan diet, to be honest, considering the nutrition available from liver, for example. And just the fact that other protein sources are much more conducive to any results you might want to attain in the gym, for instance, such as regaining beginner gains. So yeah, they're not going to be deep spiritual insults. Okay, it's been I haven't had anything to eat or drink for almost 3.5 days. I'm far from dead. I felt great when I woke up this morning, although it was a bit early. But you know how the adrenaline rushes work already during the fast, whether it's water or dry. Your kidneys are going to be producing more of those hormones that they produce, such as norepinephrine. Maybe cortisol is elevated. Trevor, big shout out. This is a small channel, but big shout out to Fasting with Trevor for really going through these investigations. Also being open-minded about diet, very flexible, not attached to any ideology. Who made these investigations, and for him, when he had done the 11-day dry fast and all the literature had said there's no reason, but he had some investigation and some evidence. I would recommend watching his videos to find out what this is, but the Russian literature has said there's no reason to go beyond day 11, but he found that he actually hadn't cured himself. His motivation was initially the cure of certain conditions, but he also realized, hey, wait a second, there are also other positive aspects to this fasting journey. And now he does it purely. I'm wearing my glasses today. Ideally, I wouldn't be, but yeah, I guess I'm coming back to normal life. So yeah, he started realizing the other benefits of fasting, the main benefits, not to mention enhancement of vision. He reports that he has nearly a 20/20 vision now, thanks to repeated extended long dry fasts in various climates like the Azores, Kerry, Ireland, also Nicaragua, Guatemala, some lake in Central America, and also in California. I forget the town, Montesino. It's somewhere in the north, or Mendocino. I forget, but so that's that. But at one point today, I guess it's kind of, I'm adjusting to the glasses again, but I was in the third day especially, I was noticing the frame of the glass. It was kind of annoying. I just wanted to take them off and I guess let my eyes rest and recover to the small extent they would on such a short fast. Yeah, and I had been saying that the cool night breeze. Again, I had said in the last video, I just moved my bed to where the open window in the in the living room is, so it kind of disrupted everything. I might continue that setup permanently, but in this month, as the temperature cools down at night, it's very pleasant. And yeah, 54 degrees Fahrenheit. I can put the hoodie on if I need to. It's really you experience those moments of gratitude for the angel of the air, as Trevor says in his videos, as you sleep through the night. And if you ever feel a certain dryness in the mouth or a thirst, you can just imagine yourself inhaling the moisture from the air, howsoever moisture it really is. It's a kind of brilliant placebo, just that cold air on the skin through the nose, and just intentionally breathing it, nose breathing, of course. And I use mouth tape to discourage mouth breathing as well, which I find to be necessary. So that's it. It's again the beginning of the fourth day. I think this is easier than water fasting because water tastes disgusting, even if it's high quality spring water, just because of the state of your mouth. It's, you're starting to breathe out, breathe into your mouth. I don't know, things that are deeper in your digestive tract. So as someone says in the Essene Gospel of Peace, your mouth will take on the odor of your bowels, because as he says, you've sinned for 7 years, and now you need to be cleansed in 7 days. So yeah, it's an interesting extension of the kind of vague biblical notion of these demons or parasites are only cleansed by prayer and fasting. It's a common motif in health and fasting circles. Now, I forget which verse it is, but they say by prayer and fasting. So prayer alone, and therefore perhaps by extension faith alone, is not enough. So maybe it's a knock against kind of absolute Protestantism, that the work of fasting is also necessary for a physical and spiritual and whatever adverb or adjective you want to throw in there, redemption or just some elevation of being. Yes, I did a slight detour on the Essene Gospel of Peace, and I was talking about the air at night, the 54 degrees, and that's pretty essential, and that makes all the difference in the world. I would imagine it makes water fasting easier. Although, because you're permitted to drink, but you don't really want it, there's a constant contradiction of deeper instinct when you're following that protocol of water fasting. In my not just opinion, but also experience as well. The fear of dry fasting is that most people, who cares about most people, but sorry, most people are very dehydrated. But you can correct that condition going into the fast. As I mentioned yesterday, you can have the coconut water, the watermelon water, as well. You can make sure that most of your meals are salad based as well, even if you're consuming protein. And also, your morning can be based on ingestion of fruits. Once you're in that state where fruit alone isn't going to spike your insulin or cause a carb crash, whatever. So even before this fast, I could easily just have dates and oranges, which might sound like a funny combination, but Mr. Trevor recommends these fruits and he mentions them, at least in videos, dating from 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Not sure how hardcore he is into these particular fruits right now. So the other theme that I wanted to discuss, although this video, I should have hit the button a while ago. It's just that dry fasting honestly seems easier than water fasting. We're not coping with the constant contradiction of instinct. We're taking the preparation much more seriously. We don't think the fast is going to cure us of whatever ailment we suffer going into it. We actually prepare in a way that's almost medicinal. We don't try to take medicine to heal the body, but we do take medicine to bring the body into a state so that we have certain surpluses going into the fast. So, you want to be well prepared with your minerals or your micronutrients. Obviously, you want sufficient fat because you're going to be burning it not just for fuel, but also for water. And there was something else you want a surplus of electrolytes, of course, as well, which you can, again, get from the structured water and the coconut water especially. Again, Harmless Harvest, I believe is only flash pasteurized as well. So you're getting a lot of the organic coconut juice, which apparently is high quality and it tastes great too. So the water fasting versus the dry. And you're supposed to, you're supposed to be getting 3 times as much autophagy. That's you can look up what that is. I'm not going to scientifically explain that now. So this feels easier. And the other observation, when you're water fasting and you're told or you believe that you need to ingest a certain quota of water per day because the whole point is to rehydrate the plaque on the intestines. Great, but if the body is still producing the endogenous water, I wonder whether that would be possible on a longer dry fast, whether that would be part of the activity anyway. So something to consider. I'm not sure, but if it were an issue, then you could do water fasting for one goal and then dry fasting for another. But the other thing is when you urinate and you're water fasting, you notice the odor of the urine, of course, is different because of the ketones. So it seems to me strange to be consuming so much water and then urinating, releasing the ketones, which could or would be fuel. So in the dry fast, of course, you urinate. This is only 3 days and change. I get it, but you urinate infrequently. And it's more so you're removing toxicity. You don't just have a clear urine or a mostly clear urine that just smells funny because of the ketones. So I don't know. It just seems suboptimal. And yeah. Anyway, this mountain is much. And it's not as high as expected. The 3 day milestone, big deal. I do feel, yeah, if I stop talking and I just rest some more, you can do 5 days or 7. The only consideration is really just a protracted recovery at this point, the rehydration, remineralization, and so on. But again, I don't expect it to be much. This is more so just overcoming a psychological hurdle. Just as honestly, when I was approaching the 24-hour mark on the first dry fast, which is just that 24 hours, I was afraid, oh, maybe I'm going to die. Maybe I won't survive the night. And when my heart was, on day 3 yesterday, it was going boom, boom. There was more noticeable thumping, which actually subsided. So the body resolved whatever deficiency or imbalance, if anything, had been causing that, or maybe the heart just needed to elevate the blood pressure to push through some blockage of some sort, which was resolved. Because I feel I feel like I have a completely normal heartbeat. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's 60 beats per minute. I don't really have the tools or the skill to measure, but there's no noticeable thumping or palpitations or anything. It's really just business as usual. What would be a problem, what would be a hardship, though, and very unwelcome, is to do remote work and software where you'd have to concentrate, and especially if you don't really like it. We can delegate most of the things we do to Claude or to other. Claude is, Claude AI, Anthropic's LLM, perhaps more powerful than ChatGPT. Of course, a lot of what we could do, we can delegate to these LLMs, but if the task is boring and unwelcome, we're almost more militant or more spiritual in this state, and the two are very compatible, by the way. We don't want to do work that's meaningless, especially when we don't want to. We want to focus on our real work, which part of which is fasting. So I always make the excuse or the argument, maybe the parasites make the argument, well, I'm in this lease until February, so I'm just going to continue, even though I shouldn't say it publicly, that I have sufficient funds to just get through this and the next period, if not more, in the future. So anyway, so dry fasting and further exploration in this regard as a motivation, not just for the accumulation of financial wealth in this silly monopoly game that we play, but also a motivation for utilizing those funds and tapping into them. Because on these, what maybe in the future we'll do an 11-day stretch, for example. Then we don't even need food. We don't even need to buy water. So, but you need to prepare properly. So that all evens out in the end. And why should one even be thinking with the accounting hat at this point? Thinking more in terms of life milestones, what we want to do, what we want to accomplish before death, if that is anything at all. Goodbye.